1-0 to the Arsenal. 1-0 to the Arsenal. 1-0 to the Arsenal. 1-0 to the Arsenal. Yes, welcome back, people. It's the Armoury TV. It's the reaction. It's your boy Gumsa. I've got Bobby with me, who was on the live stream for the whole watch along. How you keeping, bruv?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you, mate?
I'm good. So for the third game running, 1-0 to the Arsenal. And I think you guys are tempted fate because do you remember a few weeks ago I was saying, would you rather a 1-0 win or a 2-0 win or winning 4-2? And I think there's three of you on the stream, you all said I'd rather a clean sheet and win the game 1-0. And it seems like since then we can't stop winning 1-0. So what's your thoughts on the game? Again, it was 1-0, but very different to me to the last two 1-0s. So what's your thoughts?
First half was a bit a typical Bobby watch-along is what I call it. Because currently I'm doing very bad watch-alongs. They're just not very entertaining. But the second half, PSV came towards us, so we had more space. So what I called it was like we were in second gear, and then all of a sudden we went to fourth. Didn't bother with the third. We just skipped that level. So I thought we did it right. I think we could have done with scoring more, but Benitez, to be fair, is a very good shot stopper. So we got 3 points. So at the end of the day, who cares? We got 3 points.
And I think you can see Arteta's intent with this game because this lineup was very different to the rest of his UEFA Cup lineups. You know what I mean? There was a distinct difference. I think Lokonga and Holding, I would say, and Fabio Vieira for me are the ones that I'm not expecting to see start most Saturdays.
Yeah.
If everyone else is fit, I think they have a chance of starting. So Tierney equally could. It's 50-50 chance for him. Tomiyasu's the same. It wasn't as much changes as I thought. So I think Arteta's intent was to definitely go win this game, secure qualification.
Yeah.
I think a point in the next game gets us top spot.
Yeah.
To
be honest, we can actually lose it as well and still get top.
Yeah, really. I think because
PSV have already dropped 2 points already before this game. We haven't, so we can actually lose in PSV and just beat FC Zurich, and then we've got top spot. Yeah.
Okay, so he's put us in a good position, hasn't he? And I think with that, we've done what we had to do. Was you in any doubt? I was watching the game, and for me, it was a matter of when, not if, we're going to score.
I wasn't worried. When Madueke came on for PSV, I thought he'd give us a bit of a problem, and he did a little bit. Yeah. But Luke de Jong coming on, that's not going to scare me. Yeah. What the heck? Gakpo, again, my theory on Gakpo is still the same. I don't think he's good enough as a winger. I think he's very much like Thierry Henry. He's tall, he's fast, but I think they play him in the wrong position. I put him as a forward, personally.
I think we're good to touch on him because I'm not sure when you watch the games live. Obviously, you're doing the watch along, so I don't know if you have the volume on to hear the commentators.
Yeah, I do. I do. I listen to it as well.
Yeah. They did mention Tomiyasu's starting position compared to Tierney's, and he was a lot more reserved compared to Tierney. So for me, that was definitely with Gakpo in mind, and you saw how quick Xhaka got back to double up on him as well. They didn't allow him time and space. Throughout the game, I saw one cheeky little pass he put in around the corner. But has he done enough to make the Arsenal hierarchy think we've got to pull the trigger on this one? I'm not too sure if he has in that game, if I'm honest. But he's up against tough opposition. Like, this Arsenal team is no joke at the moment. So, let's get into some comments anyway. Luke Morrison's here. Robin the German is playing for Leeds tonight. Bobby,
I'm going to have to explain this to you.
Go on,
he's got a surname that is spelled Koch. The only way you can spell that is comes out as a rude word, and I know I'm going to get clipped, so I just called him Robin the German. I'm not going to say his surname ever. So Luke knows that, but big up to Luke. He's an Arsenal
Yeah, you give me Luke. Yeah, you almost got me saying it. I pronounce it Koch, but yeah, I know I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but it's a safe way of doing it.
Yeah.
Silver Fox is in the building. He's saying Bobby Holding, man of the match for him. Clean sheet, can we argue?
Yes, we can.
And he's saying Gumsa, Granit Xhaka, discuss. We'll get to that later. I don't want to be the guy, but no, it was a very, very good finish from him. But yeah, let's talk about the Arsenal performance because, again, for me, it was very fluid. You saw the difference from last week to this week off the back of the Leeds performance where we didn't play well. Do you think that was, yes, we wanted to win the group, but do you also think it was a game to say, actually, let me give these boys a game to try and play them into some form? Because off the back of the Leeds game where they did catch, do you know what I mean? A bit of a hiding because we didn't get beat, but we was under a lot of pressure. Do you think that would kind of do the confidence of these boys a bit of good to say, actually, yeah, we can play football to a high level? Ooh, Leeds have just scored their own goal. And it's your guy. It's Robin the German who's just scored their own goal.
Oh, jeez. I'm glad I'm not doing that watch along tonight. But, jeez. I think, to be honest, the guy that impressed me the most tonight was Eddie on the left. I think that's his position. I honestly think that is, if he's got a chance at an Arsenal career, that is where his position is. Now, someone said in the watch along that he scores a lot as a striker in England, but if you watch a lot of England under 21s, he does cut in off the left more than playing down the centre. So I think that's his position. So that then gives us a problem of we don't have a backup striker because Eddie's going to be the Martinelli rotation player. Yeah. So I don't think Eddie's strong enough as a centre forward. I think he's very good because I thought he was very good tonight.
Yeah, I like him. And he's good when he's direct, isn't it? So if you can get him time facing your position and going at them, he's a live wire. So yeah, I'm with you. I've liked Eddie from last season on the left, and that's when he really caught my attention again.
Yeah.
And again, I think that opens up the opportunity to maybe, before we was looking at a winger on the left side, but maybe we go for a striker. And then you've got Eddie as your third choice striker. Do you know what I mean? So it just strengthens you in that area where rather than just having two like we've got at the moment, we then can have three in that position. Anyone else in that game in particular you think done really well?
Granit, Xhaka, Jesus played well tonight. Turner, decent. That's what he's going to be doing. Other than that, everyone's pretty much a 7 for me.
Yeah, do you know? I would say I wouldn't give anyone really above an 8. No, I wouldn't really score anyone below a 7. I think it was very entertaining 1-0. I'll be honest. Like normally
second half,
but yeah, we played good football the whole way through. We controlled the game, and again, it's filling me with a bit of optimism to keep. I said the George Graham team was famous for the 1-0s. I'm not saying the back line's as strong as that, but it's a sign of good things to come. We can play good football. I think we was in second gear. I really do feel if we wanted to turn up another notch or two, we really could have. Silver's here again. He's saying, his passing was immaculate, especially the number for Xhaka and Eddie. What the one that ended up for Eddie Gordo or for Eddie Murphy in the stands?
He's never going to give up, is he? Let's be honest.
No, I don't mind Holding. He does what he's meant to do in that team. He's the same for me as El Nene. You need them in the squad, but I think he's accepted his role within this team. I think the only one that hasn't is Silver Fox, but again, he doesn't let us down. Do you know what I mean? Really and honestly, I don't think it's been a long time since I've turned around and said Holding's at fault for something.
Oh yeah,
it's what you need. Do you know what I mean? So especially with this young squad that we do have, sometimes you might need a bit of experience to come in, but. There was he saying he clearly wasn't watching. Luke Morrison saying the whole Dini cult is strong in the silver one. It is indeed. Here's a question for you for next week. Would you guys go strong again next week in Eindhoven, secure top spot, then we can rest the entire first team squad and play the under 21s against Zurich? Thoughts on that?
I wouldn't go strong. I wouldn't.
No.
I honestly wouldn't care. I know it's really hard for an Arsenal fan to say. I wouldn't be bothered if we lost that game. I know we won against FC Zurich. And I think if we want to see Nelson, we want to see Eddie thrive a little bit, we need to give him a proper game. We need to give him proper game time. And Nelson's going to need the proper game time. I don't think he's going to make it. Honestly, that's my opinion. I don't think he's going to make it at Arsenal. But if Arsenal see something in him, then give him next week.
Yeah. I'm going to go opposite to you. I'll be honest. I would play Nelson next week, but I would go relatively strong next week. And I'm sure I'll give my team selection in the preview next week. But we obviously away to PSV and then we're at home to Nottingham Forest. Whereas the Zurich game, we're away to Chelsea the game after.
Yeah.
So for me, I would go and get the job done, knowing that we should have the weaker game afterwards against Forest, rather than, because again, I think top spot is important this year because there's a qualifying game, isn't there? If you don't come top in your league, you could end up playing a game against one of the teams that drops down from the Champions League. So that top spot is important. So I would go relatively strong. I would still rest. I think I would rest Saka in that one, let Martinelli play it, depending on how they get on this weekend. I would probably rest Jesus, have Eddie, have Nelson playing, rest Partey, potentially rest Saliba. I would go very similar to what it was today. And just even if you come out of there with a draw, then we've got top spot and then you can rest against Zurich. So yeah, I'll definitely be resting some.
Yeah, and I'm being picked on in the comments here because all my lineups before tonight, because if anyone that saw my preview, I actually went for a strong lineup last night or Tuesday night. But previously, I've gone for Jeffcott, I've gone for Sakor, I've gone for Kubri, I've gone for because I just feel that they are good enough and they do play Arteta style football because that's what he wants. He wants all the levels to play. So I have confidence in our youngsters. That's all it is. I have confidence.
Yeah.
And I'm being told that under 21s will be playing next week. Probably, yes. You'll see my preview team next week. You'll see it. I will upset people.
Saying you're playing the under sixes next week. It's a good question. Turner's so safe. Detractors were wrong. Yeah, what's your thoughts on Turner? The last two, I've been quite impressed with him. He hasn't pulled off any what I would say world-class saves, but he's been very assured. His kicking's been better, and I like how he starts high. Last week, especially on that 3G pitch, he was nice and high, and he swept up a lot of dangerous balls through. So, what's your thoughts on Turner?
Yeah, he's starting to impress me more. I knew he was a very good shot stopper. It was just his feet that I was always concerned about, but he's done the job tonight. He's definitely not given me any worries tonight from tonight's performance. And tonight's performance was more difficult than Bodo or FC Zurich. This was a proper European team tonight. So, big up to him for doing well.
Definitely. King's Football saying if Bobby is the manager, no over 18 is playing next game.
I have confidence in the young at Arsenal. That's all.
No, I love that. And to be fair, how they've been playing at the moment, I wouldn't go against it. The system looks like it's working really well. Yeah. But again, you do see sometimes the level go up, and that's what I like at the moment. We're making subs, and the levels are going up. Like Martinelli come on and Partey, and you saw straight away the level rise up a little bit. And that's what you need, that competition for places and these quality players. But yeah, I do think next week I wouldn't be letting Partey travel. I probably wouldn't let Jesus travel. Much as they want to be involved, they'll be staying home. Someone saying Zach or promising we've got loads of good young players. We do have a great squad. To be fair, I haven't really watched much 23s this year.
Watch Sakor because he's very good.
Really?
Yeah, I really like him. Lino Sousa as well, but he's not part of the European team, so he can't be picked. But Lino Sousa is really good.
Okay, I need to try and catch a game. Guess who own goal? Bobby's favourite player from Leeds. Yeah, we've seen that already. I almost said it out loud on the stream, but I managed to hold it in.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the goal. The guy, the man of the moment, Granit Xhaka. Good bit of play. It was a bit quicker, the tempo, when we started playing. And then the ball in, it didn't look like a great ball from Tomiyasu, but Xhaka held the position rather than running in. And great connection on the right foot and made it look easy. Even the celebration made it look easy. So what's your thoughts on the goal?
Brilliant goal. Xhaka this season at the moment, apart from Saliba, Xhaka is probably my favourite player this season. Yeah. Easy.
Yeah, he's in a good rate of form.
Yeah.
And again, you see the confidence.
He's happy as well. You can see he's clearly happy.
Yeah, definitely. This whole team, to be fair, is thriving at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
And again, it's just positive. Like, nothing else can be said, really. And honestly, top of the group, top of the Premier League. Yeah. What more could be said about it, really? It's just flowing, isn't it? Like, doesn't matter how we play or what we play against. We seem to have an answer. PSV score a lot of goals. I think in three of their last 5 games, they scored 5 goals in each, something like that. And
yeah,
I think 2 or 3 in the others, they do score a lot of goals. But didn't really have a chance, really, honestly. I think there's one pass across the box where they should have maybe done a little bit better, and a couple of half chances for Savvy Simmons hit one. But yeah, apart from that, they didn't really create. I was expecting to see more from them, if I'm honest. And is that now just down to the quality of Arsenal? Like the way we press, the way we take it to teams, the way we don't hang back no more. Like it's just, again, we keep saying it. Are these teams bad, or Arsenal just making teams look really bad at the moment? And yeah,
I think Van Nistelrooy came with the wrong game plan. I think he was trying to just do a Conte ball on us, and then second half he opened up a little bit, and then we punish him for opening up. As I did the preview with Satvik the other night, and we'd do this new thing where you have to pick 5 from the opposition, and we picked 5 players from PSV. Benitez was the goalkeeper. Had a good game, as we all see. You know, he saved them quite a lot of times. Simons was one, Veerman was one, Gakpo was one, and the other player was
Gustil.
No, it wasn't actually. I can't remember who the other player was. Who was the other? Oh, Sangare, who did have a very good game.
Yeah, he's good actually. Yeah.
So I take Sangare right now from PSV. Mm-hmm. I think for a party replacement, I think, or a rotation player, if you want to call it, because we do need to talk about Sambi. Sambi's not a DM. He's just
I'm with you on that. And I don't want to say he's not a good player.
Oh no, I said it on my watch long. He's a brilliant centre midfielder, but not a DM. You can't really be both for me.
Yeah, I would like to see him play with Partey again, because again, when we've seen him, it's always been kind of with Xhaka. So I would like to see him play higher at the pitch, because in pre-season he was playing higher up and he was looking a right threat.
Yeah.
So for me, it would be yes, it's fine. He can drop in now. I think his position this year would have been Xhaka's replacement in these games, but obviously El Nene's been injured, so he's dropped in. And again, I'd much rather see him in that position than Granit Xhaka in that position. For me, it doesn't work. We tried it for many a season. It doesn't work, him being a deep one. So, yeah, unfortunately for Sambi, he has to play there. But I do think there is a player in there. And again, it's one of the ones, I think because we're winning, no one's really getting onto him, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
He's only going to take one defeat or a couple of defeats, and then people are going to be trying to call him out again. So, for me, I would like to see him a bit higher up. So, Sangare is not a bad shout for somebody to come in. Because, again, I think once we get further in this competition and deeper, we probably will have to play Partey a bit more, or somebody who's going to up the level. Again, El Nene will be back. But, it's one of the things I think we have to address it. Like, we're in a great position. And was it the year Leicester won it? Where we needed to go and get a striker.
Yeah.
We had Welbeck injured, and I think, who was the other one? Eduardo or Perez or someone? We had 2 injuries up front.
Yeah.
And should have gone and got a striker, didn't do it, and that kind of could have been what cost us. So for me, it's we've waited last Christmas to not get a striker in, and I'm happy we got Jesus. But I don't think we can afford to wait again. Let's really go for it. And I think that's one position I will be looking for.
Yeah. I think I'm 100% sure we're signing someone in January, and then I'm just hoping we get maybe one more in as well. I think for me, Josh will notice that we have gone way above what anyone has expected this season.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Josh will go, okay, let's bring our summer plans forward, because obviously the next project would be pushing for Champions League, maybe pushing for the title. So Josh might go, okay, let's just go for it, guys.
Yeah,
let's just go for it.
It makes sense. You never know what can happen. Oh, he's almost scored a second own goal. No, it weren't him. It was Llorente, his partner.
Okay.
But he's saying Giroud and Welbeck. Perez and Welbeck was injured. So, it's for me, it's one of them ones. Are we ever going to be in a better position? I'm not saying it's down to other teams being bad, because in the day I know we're talking about the Premier League now, but it all wraps itself up in one. But we've won 9 games out of 10.
Yeah.
So this isn't down to Liverpool having a drop off in the season. This isn't about City dropping points. Like, we've been that good to be in that position. So for me, it is about actually let's go and try and cement it, because who knows? You never know what can happen in the next few games. City can still drop more points. Like, I think our run-in from now till January is probably the easier of the run-ins. I was looking the other day, and again, the only kind of big team we haven't played is Chelsea and City, and we've got Chelsea in I think a fortnight's time or so. So yeah, if we can come out of that still 4 points clear or something like that, do you know what I mean? We're in a good space. So I don't want to see us rest. I really want to see us push 1 or 2 players. I think a winger still would be very, very handy. The fact Marquinhos isn't playing today kind of shows he's not ready to replace Saka yet. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I would probably look for a winger and then maybe put him out on loan. Or if you bring a striker in, Eddie can go on the wings if need be, and then Marquinhos maybe finish off the season somewhere else to go and get minutes under his belt. So I think we need to act and not wait around. Silver Fox is saying Chelsea big. It's no one really I'm not really frightened of anyone this year. It's really weird. Apart from City. I don't really. No one's really frightened. I can't see anyone really putting that run together. Makes me feel like they're on. Do you know what I mean? It's a lot of teams are stumbling. Footmaster says Stevie G losing to a better Fulham again. Yeah, I'm watching Leeds Leicester. So, but I think how long do you reckon Stevie G's got?
If he loses tonight, I don't think he's got many hours, to be honest. Because obviously I'm FTSNs mainly, but I've already got the thumbnail ready just in case.
Really?
That's how I'm sure I think he might be going. So the thumbnail's made, ready to stream whenever we need to. No, I hear you on that one. He's in a bad run. He's in a real bad run. Silver Fox is saying he's more worried about Southampton. See, why are people worried about that? I'm not.
That's our normal bogey team though. St. Mary's is not a stadium we do very well at normally, is it? So I think that's more of it. But this Arsenal team seems different to me. It really does.
Yeah. Crystal Palace are normally our bogey team. We didn't struggle there.
Yeah. So,
Liverpool have been our bogey team. We didn't struggle against them. So, And if any Tottenham fans are listening, we've actually beat a big team, unlike some people.
Yeah. They've gone back into hiding, didn't they?
I've noticed that. Yeah, they've gone very quiet. Very quiet.
Yeah, bless them. But it's looking good. So, top place qualification for you. How far do you think we could go in this competition now? Because it's going to get to the business end very soon.
I expect us to at least challenge for the trophy.
Yeah. Again, a lot of luck goes into the draw. There is some big teams looking like they're going to come in, isn't it? It looks like Barcelona are going to bounce in.
I'm not worried about.
Yeah, they're AC Milan, quite a big team at the moment, playing.
Not worried about them.
Atletico Madrid.
Nope. Give me another one. Because currently I'm not. We should be going for this. I can't see unless I can't. I don't fear anyone in Europe. The only team I fear right now is City.
Yeah,
and I've said to Cole, if we're doing what's on that, I might be ill for that day because I think it might be painful. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope we can do what we did last season, but it could be painful.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that one. What you're saying is true. To be fair, like teams that are coming in, I think Juventus are on the verge of dropping in as well. And again, they're on paper, you can't deny these are big teams, but they're not playing to anything of the standard we expect from Barcelona, Juventus, Atletico. Milan. So, again, on our day, we beat them. I think the only thing that may stop us in that competition, if we're still, just say we're in this position going into like the quarterfinals, semi-finals, where we're top of the league, a couple of points clear, is Arteta going to risk players in Europe to, do you know what I mean? If we're going for that title push, I think that would be any time I would say, actually, I don't mind you rotating in Europe. But if we're battling out for fourth, then actually, you got to go strong on both fronts. So, Luke Morrison saying the same thing. I'm strangely not worried about Southampton. I'm getting very uneasy at how confident I'm getting. Normally, I'll be predicting a 2-0 defeat, 1-0 if I was feeling particularly confident. And this is the thing. We're going to drop points in this season. I've got no doubt about it. But it's the mindset is different. The mindset is different with this team at the moment. We're going into every game looking to win. What are you expecting in the Premier League from the last four? Southampton, Chelsea, Nottingham Forest.
Okay. This is just me. I said
was Wolves in that? Sorry, in that run?
Yeah, because that's my hometown. So Wolves are Arsenal coming here. So I expect a draw against Wolves.
Really?
But this was before the breaking news that happened within the last 2 hours. So I might have to change my theory on this because I thought they'd have a new manager bounce. They're not getting a new manager. They're keeping this caretaker manager until the end of the season now. So we should now beat them. Chelsea is the one I'm worried about.
Yeah,
that is the only one I'm worried about. But it wouldn't shock me again if we beat them. It wouldn't, because we are good enough. But Chelsea, it's Graham Potter. It's a different situation now.
Yeah, definitely. We notoriously have struggled against Graham Potter. I know he hasn't been at Chelsea long to implement his style there. But again, on their day, they have got players that can hurt you. But I expect us to kind of be the better team in that game, is whether we can punish and hold off. Leicester just scored, by the way. Sorry, it's 2-0 now. Harvey Barnes. I do like Harvey Barnes. I didn't realize he was so old, though. I thought he was a youngster, but he's like 25 or something like that, isn't he? So
no, still quite young.
Still young. But I thought
you're making me feel really old now.
No, it's only because he burst on the scene like last year, didn't he? So I'm thinking like he's like 21 or something like that. And it's only when someone said, no, he's like a big 24, 25. And I was like, did not know that.
Are you mixing it up with Dewsbury Hall, though?
He's quite old. Let me have a look. Let's Google this.
Dewsbury Hall's
maybe I'm completely wrong. Because I was saying in summer I'll take Harvey Barnes, and people were saying like he's quite old, And I was like, I did not realise.
Harvey Barnes was that old.
Let's have a look.
I want to say that because Moss put it earlier about the Arsenal ladies last night doing an amazing job.
Yeah.
Beating Leon. Yeah, he's 25.
Oh, okay. 25. Yeah. Yeah, he's so yeah. Where is he playing before? But I do like Harvey Barnes. I think he's a good player.
Yeah.
So he sounds like he looks like he had a lot of loans. West Brom, Barnsley, MK Dons before breaking into the Leicester team. So yeah, he's had a few loans before. So no, I do like Harvey Barnes. But yeah, carry on what you're saying. Sorry.
But yeah, Chelsea. I think we're talking about Chelsea, weren't we? Yeah, Chelsea game I think will be a struggle. But as we're saying about the Arsenal ladies, obviously tearing Leon apart.
Yeah, that was unexpected.
Beth Mead, who is honestly, I'd put her in the Arsenal men's if I could. Honestly, I just love her. She's just awesome. So just if you ever get to watch her because she's just so talented, really good. But the Arsenal ladies, for me, Jonas has got that team perfect. Getting Hurtig from Juventus, Swedish international, she's just added something extra. Miedemar, we kept her, but the Arsenal ladies are just looking amazing. I think the title is ours. We could have a double,
cheeky double.
I'll be very happy with that. Nice cheeky double. Yeah.
It takes me back to the good old days when Arsenal women and Arsenal men's were
football. Yeah, it's giving me chills. It's actually giving me chills because I remember the good old days with the Arsenal ladies and the Arsenal men's were both doing so well.
Yeah, because
even Wenger got us all into like making sure that we all support the women's as well.
Yeah, definitely. So, and again, this is what we're seeing at the moment. It comes down to an identity, a vision, plan, structure, and belief, isn't it? And believing in what we're doing. So yeah, fair play to everybody at the club at the moment. They seem to be getting it right, and that feel-good factor must be, just amazing in training. It sounds like Douglas Luiz has got a red card. Luke Morrison saying, "How do we struggle against Leeds? Because Leicester are putting them to the sword." But again, this is what it's about, taking your chances, isn't it? Because the first half should have been up by more, and then once you now pinned in, it's very difficult to get out sometimes.
Yeah,
Europa and FA Cup double is our trophy. Wouldn't mind it. I'll take it.
Moss is always very positive.
I think we could do a trophy. We got Brighton in a few weeks as well in the League Cup. Would you throw that one away? Literally, would you play full kids in that?
No. Right now, apart from the Europa, I'd rest a bit in the Europa. But right now, I'd get as far as we can in cups because we don't want to make the mistake we did last season, where if we prioritised another cup, we might have got a bit further in that. But yeah, I wouldn't rest it against Brighton. De Serbi's doing okay at Brighton. He's not as good as Graham Potter, but no, I'd go full strength for that. I want to win everything. That's what I watch football for. Yeah,
no, I hear that. I think must have said Alicia Lehman, your man is in trouble. That's in reference to Douglas Luiz getting sent off. Luke's was saying he remembers the days, Bobby, big at the Arsenal ladies team.
Yeah.
Footmost is saying he's happy we didn't buy Luiz.
So am I.
Is saying, I'm not going to say the first bit, but what a game by Granit Xhaka. And you've already said he's been your second favourite player this season after Saliba.
Yeah.
I would put him in. He's up there. I think Saka, for me, has been really good as well. I think he's had a bit of criticisms at the start of the season, and I don't get why, just because he wasn't scoring and assisting. He's been playing, for me, brilliant every game. So, as I said, to be fair, if if you used to wrap up, well, we used to give ratings for the season so far. I don't think a player gets below at 8 for me at this moment in time. I can't think of one player. Like out of the main guys that are starting, Gabriel might be the only one who gets less than an 8. And he's played well. He just has these moments. But apart from that,
and obviously I've said to everyone that I talk to about Arsenal that we are looking at as left centre back, but it's not to replace Gabriel. It's more to push him on, I think, because I think he's getting a little bit complacent a little bit sometimes, and that can happen. And Arteta is about this 2 in every position. So if we get a left centre back, which I'll be perfectly happy with, I think that hopefully might help him a bit of pressure, because obviously he's got no pressure from anyone right now.
Yeah, and again, it keeps it fresh, isn't it? Refresh it. If he needs it 2 weeks out, there's nothing wrong with competition. Competition's healthy. As long as you're in 2 competitions, so Premier League and Europe, then there's enough game time for everybody. And again, sometimes you might just need a week or 2 out, a little breakout.
Yeah.
We play a couple of games in Europe, don't worry about the league for a week or 2. And I think it'd be important for him. And we've seen what it's done for everybody else. Everyone else's performance has stepped up because there's a bit more competition. So it looks like it's 2-0 to Fulham now. This could be the end of Gerrard.
Yeah.
It looks like it's Mitrovic. My son will be happy because he's got Mitrovic in his dream team. So he'll be very happy with that. And as we said, Leicester 2-0 up. So, right, we're going to get to the end of the stream. We're not going to do player ratings. I think it was just, I think no one really scored below a 7, really. And the odd player might have got an 8. So, but let's just talk about Arteta a little bit. What's your thoughts on him so far? In a campaign in Europe, do you think he's got a lot of things right with players? Again, we haven't had many injuries. Xhaka got a little calf knock earlier, but he carried on for a bit, so I don't think it's too serious. How would you rate our campaign so far? We're qualified now to the next rounds, whether we could come top or not. So how would you rank this European crusade so far?
Yeah, it hasn't been fireworks, like exciting as it, let's be honest, but we're doing the job. We're getting the job done. Last week's game, which everyone's gone, you only beat Bodo 1-0. Yeah, Bodo 14 games, 1 in a row in Europe.
Yeah,
that's Bodo, and they played Roma and Celtic of 2 of those games.
Yeah,
so that wasn't easy. It's not an easy pitch to go to. It's not an easy stadium to go to. It's very close to Northern Lights. That's how north it is in Norway. It's absolutely freezing. So I think that was a good game.
And don't forget the pitch is artificial, which we don't play on often. So
yeah,
that you can see that made a big difference too. This the way the ball moves is very different.
And I know from all my previews, I always change the lineup. That's just me. I have faith in the kids, and I think they can do a job. That's just me, and that's fine. Arteta doesn't. That's not a problem. And I think he's managed it very well. The only game that in the whole season I think he's got wrong is the United game. That is the only game I've ever gone, I think you got that one wrong, mate. But that's it. I'm never going to be a massive fan of a manager because they're never going to always be here. I'm going to support them till like the day I die. There's always going to be a new manager. So I'm never going to go, oh, I love Arteta. Well, he's going to leave at some point. All managers do. So I'm not one of those that's going to go, oh, I love him to bits. I'm happy he's doing a good job. He's doing it for my club. I'm happy as an Arsenal fan. We're getting 3 points. Some games aren't great sometimes, but I'm from the 80s and the 90s. Some games weren't great, but we were winning trophies. So who cares?
I hear that. Do you know much about this centre-back from Frankfurt?
Yes, Ndicka. I don't know how you spell it. It's Ndicka. It's Ndicka or something. Yeah, he's decent. I think we can get better. I personally would go for Kilman, to be honest, but that's just me.
Really?
I think he's brilliant. The Kilman's fantastic. Very good, very tall, left centre-back, very composed with his feet, good height. He's come into the Wolves team and it looks amazing. But that's just me. But I think it'll cost an absolute fortune. But if it's a pre-contract, that's fine. I just think we could get better. Personally, I think there's more out there, but that's just me.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And Max Gilman's quite an interesting shout. I watched him a few times when he was playing down at Marlow, going back some, and very good footballer in terms of ball on his feet. I think he's come from like a futsal background, hasn't he?
Yeah.
and you can see it where he plays football. So that's not a bad shout, actually. And again, taking from these lower Premier League teams is sometimes a good option. Do you know what I mean?
Low. Don't forget, I live by the Molineux, so
they're not that
yeah, Wolves aren't that bad, everyone. Just so everyone knows, the Wolves aren't that bad. But no, I think, I'd have Neves and I'd take Kilman from Wolves.
I think Neves is still a bit pricey. Would you be going back in for Tillemans or?
No. If we get him on a free, I'll be perfectly happy because we ain't paid no money for him.
Yeah,
but I don't want to pay money for that guy. I really don't. I don't think he's going to improve us. Really don't.
Fair enough. Not even as the backup to Partey?
I don't like the word backup. I hate it.
Okay, rotation option?
No. He's not good enough. He's not strong enough. I really don't think he's going to do it. I'd have Maddison as well. I'd have Maddison in.
Oh, yeah. Love Maddison. Love him.
Yeah.
So just quickly, what would you rate this campaign so far in Europe? Qualified, as I said, we're in top 2, odds on to be number 1. But I don't think we've seen much of the kids in it. Marquinhos, Vieira, kind of think, and Nelson. They're the only 3 that have really kind of had a lot of minutes in there. How would you rate this out of 10 so far?
Okay, I'd rate it an 8, but that's just because I haven't seen enough of the kids. I would have loved to see the kids. There are some really good talents. There's an Edwards, Caden Edwards, good striker. You're a good striker. There's a few others that I definitely would have loved to have seen. I wish we put registered Lino Sousa for the European squad because he's a very good, talented left back. And obviously with the Tierney issue, Sinchenko issue, we could have done with him a bit, to be honest.
Yeah.
Zakor, I'd have him. Who else would I have? And obviously Norton Coffey. I wish we didn't send him out on loan.
Yeah.
Because again, I would have got rid of Cedric and had Norton Coffey as a third option as right back. And even I think a lot of people are saying Real Waters as well.
Yeah. I haven't seen them for a little bit actually. Yeah, it's a very good point.
Yeah.
I expect to see a lot of them boys go out on loan after Christmas. I think they will probably play. I think we see a bit more rotation for the next game, and then the last game, if we're top, we'll see a lot of rotation. But after that, I think there's not much minutes there for these boys. So I think a lot of them will go out on loan from Christmas to get that first team football. So I think after this, the campaign in Europe is going to be completely different, and it's going to be. I mean, you've got to win every game after that, haven't you? So, Well, anyway, it's another team bites the dust. Another 1-0. Important clean sheet at the Emirates. We haven't had too many of them this year, so that was important. Another clean sheet for Matt Turner. Like, it's on. Yeah, it's just a different Arsenal, isn't it? It's beautiful. Any last words, Bobby?
Apart from come on, you Gunners. That's it. That's all I've got to say.
And I'm with you on that. So, guys, thank you for tuning in. Again, it's another 1-0 to the Arsenal, 3 in a row. Actually, before we go, is it concerning you we're not scoring many goals at the moment? Or do you think it's just we've got the lead, just hold on to it, just don't concede and get through? Or do you think it's a problem?
No, I'm not concerned. I grew up in the 80s and 90s. 1-0 to the Arsenal it's something I'm very used to. And as long as we win, that's all I care about. And the performance is good as well. I'm performing. So, I'm not worried.
Decent. All right, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. You'll catch a preview, I believe, tomorrow. There'll probably be a preview, if not Saturday. Game this weekend is against Southampton. Is there a watch along, Bobby?
No, it's too early for me, unfortunately, on a Sunday. Family time.
I hear that. But there will be a reaction. It'll probably be me on it afterwards, as long as we win. No, I'm here. Win, lose or draw, I'm here. But again, Arsenal keep marching on. Qualified for Europe. Can we still down first place next week? And then, we move on again. But thank you for your time, guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching back, make sure you keep liking, commenting, subscribing. Thank you for the sponsor. Sorry, I didn't put it up earlier, but Global Mapping Surveys, big up yourselves. From me and Bobby, have a good evening.